What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I'm Antoine.
And I'm still James.
Got an epic movie review for y'all today. Got Uncharted, the movie, a live-action movie starring Tom Holland
And
Mark Wahlberg. And I know that everybody was saying, oh, those will make a good Nathan Drake and Sully. Any fans of the game said, I got the perfect people to play Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan. Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Literally nobody said that. And if you played the game, these guys don't look nothing like the characters, don't act like nothing like the characters, don't remind you of the characters at all.
Yeah.
But did they actually capture those characters by using their acting ability to make us believe that they actually those characters?
We'll talk about that after the intro.
We don't even need no intro. We're going to skip the intro.
We're going to go straight in? Okay, so the answer
I'm going to tell you right now.
Is no.
Yes, I'm going to tell you right now.
Tom Holland was Tom Holland as Tom Holland. Mark Wahlberg was Mark Wahlberg as Mark Wahlberg. They were not even trying to play these characters.
At all, no. Man, Tom Holland was like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He was Peter Parker.
Like, I can't verify this. I wasn't in the room, but I'm sure the director said, okay, look, I want you to play Spider-Man if he could legally drink. That's the character.
And I wasn't even sure about that because he looks very young.
Yeah.
He's a bartender. So we can talk a little bit about the story.
Yeah.
So if you know the game, Nathan Drake is kind of like a treasure hunter, but he's kind of like I guess he started off as a thief when he was young. Sully found him and usually got him to do jobs for him. But he's a treasure hunter that like his brother was onto this because they supposed to be related to some pirate or something. That was their whole thing. And
privateer, but
whatever.
If you're on the wrong side of that, then yeah, probably Sir Francis Drake.
Right, whatever. And that's kind of the thing. And that's why you keep that ring always. That was kind of a theme in the game. So that's kind of like that always drove him to look for treasure.
Yeah.
Because he feel like, oh, I'm descended from pirates or captains or captain of a ship.
I'm not 100%. Let me say this straight off the bat. I did not play any of the games.
I did. So
I have them installed on the PlayStation.
Nobody's like, well, what's stupid? You didn't play the game. I played it.
My understanding is that at least one of the games he is looking for like Drake's treasure, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's what the ring that he wears is supposed
to be. It's
It's
supposed to have a clue on it.
Yeah.
Or whatever, which they didn't go there in this movie, but we'll talk about that.
A sequel.
Right, I know. That ring was just a family heirloom kind of thing. But anyway, he's a treasure hunter. So it's kind of like Indiana Jones meets National Treasure.
Yeah.
Only difference is Indiana Jones always, that belongs in the museum. And Nathan kind of like, I want that for me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, okay. And then we got the character of Victor Sullivan. Now, Sullivan is the older mentor guy, but he always got an angle.
Yeah.
And if you see in the first game, he'll be like, hey, yeah, I know this treasure, man. I got half of it. You know how to find treasure. You know what I'm saying? We work together. We find that. We be good. And then Sullivan always got an angle because he probably owes somebody some money. Or usually it's like some gangsters after them.
I'm familiar with the type for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the game, he'll be like, somebody be shooting at him while they trying to find a treasure. Somebody shoot. Who is that?
Shooting at
right.
Type. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably some gangbangers or something. We probably in the wrong neighborhood. I don't know. I ain't have nothing to do with it. It's always some bullshit though. So anyway.
Oh God. See, I really need to play these games.
So anyway, they got some scenes that's kind of like a little Ocean 11, where it's kind of like a heist segment. But and I was like, yeah. So they got a little of the heist segment in there. Yeah. It wasn't. To me, it was kind of like it wasn't really played that well, but it was okay.
Yeah.
And then that's when you kind of meet some of the characters like the main villain. What's the chick name?
Joe Braddock. Her real name is Tatiana Gibson.
Yeah.
I think.
So, characters like that. Then you see, you get to get you a proper Scottish welcome. You get to meet him too, whatever.
Like,
I like how they call him Highlander.
That shit like 3 fucking
I know
times.
that's what messed it up. You say it once, it's funny. Then he kept saying it. I'm like, why you keep saying that? Now you just like you're taking your joke away.
I did laugh a little bit later on because like clearly that was the only line they wrote from because the only
all
other
he said
word
I. That's all he said after that.
It's like,
hey, Holland, I.
Like, I feel like they recorded a bunch of other stuff for him. It's like, I don't know what the hell he's saying. Cut it. It's fine.
Right. But no.
And of course, they called him Scotty.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, I heard somebody call him Highlander, so I was like, I like that name for him. But anyway, it was kind of like a little heist segment. Then he go to the treasure hunting segment. Now, the treasure hunting segment was close to the game. I give that. It was a lot of, it's always, this clue, that clue, Nathan find it, this where nobody can figure out, he'll figure it out, like that. And so that was similar, but I got a little clip here that you can that kind of show a little bit of his parkour skills off. There's like, now he's all into parkour, which I kind of spotted those the double. Yeah. Did you spot the doubles?
A couple times.
Yeah, I was like, that double, the stunt double legs are huge. I guess you can just tell, and that's always the case when you got the expert at that. Yeah. Body shape is going to be way bigger because they do this all the time.
Too, because like it's not like Tom Holland is anywhere near out of shape.
He did some of the stuff himself,
and like part of that is he has a background in gymnastics and stuff. But it's like when you get to like some of the cats and vaults, and I'm like, oh no, that was
yeah. So let me show you this little clip. This is kind of like a little heist segment. It's only about 40 seconds.
Million going
Don't
once,
make me do this.
Going twice, and
Sully, I think you're just gonna have to buy that cross.
$2 million it is.
You better do something now.
Going twice, and
Oh, this is gonna suck!
Oh, that was something. You're doing great. Hang in there. Hey, Trent. Addison wanted me to take that to the vault pronto. Thanks.
Sully, where are you going?
There's only one rule in this game, kid. Don't get caught.
Now that's a Sully move.
Yeah.
But that is
I can respect
that was way too easy though.
I can definitely respect that kind of character in this kind of story if that's his thing. But like the fact that he got away.
Yeah, I mean it was way too easy.
It's like this.
I'm telling you, you think, oh, he got some other plan? No, just walk out the back door.
Just walk out the back door. And even for Tom Holland, where it's like
that was just $3 million in the bidding.
Yeah, this dude just ruined a like $1 million light fixture in an auction house. Auction houses, for those of you who don't know, have excellent security. No one stopped him. He literally ran right out the front door.
Well, he had on a security jacket.
No.
Oh,
Tom Holland didn't.
Yeah.
He busted all those lights and literally ran out the front door.
Yeah. Just hopped in the car. Nobody
just hopped
chase.
in the car. Yeah, bruh.
Yeah, it was a BS on there, and I was like, okay, I can have a little fun with it. I'm suspending my disbelief to have fun with it, but it was like you gave me nothing.
Yeah.
You gave me nothing new, nothing original. Nothing's original in this movie.
Well, like even because this is part of the problem, right? It's like with a lot of these video game movies, like okay. We don't like the plot from the game because it's a little nonsensical. So we're going to put in our nonsensical plot that's similar to what the games do and then never make it make sense.
Right.
Or own up to the fact that we're completely aping the parts we did like from the game.
Yeah, I know. And so we got the plane scene, which it starts off with that plane scene. So that's a big scene from the game. I can't remember which game it is, but most of the games you start off like that. And you just like
in the middle of the BS.
You in the air. Another game, you falling off a train. you kind of like, how the hell did they get here?
Right.
And then they kind of go back and show how you ended up in that position.
You're probably wondering how I got in this.
Yeah. Boy, hey, when I was watching it, I said, please don't do a voiceover. Please don't do a voiceover. It's like saying,
You know what? If Tom Holland wasn't their lead actor, they probably would have.
Man, if they would have like said, "How'd I get in this position?" Well, it all started. I don't want to hear none of that, man. I can figure this out. I don't need a voiceover.
Like or the Ryan Reynolds, like, you ever feel like you're just weightless, floating in air? Oh, I am.
Yeah.
Like, something like that. It's like, nah, just leave that
I'm
out.
having a bad day. Let me tell you how it started.
Anyway.
But no, so the plane scene. Now, remember we talked about this on the trailer reaction.
Yeah.
But
The
come on, bruh.
but
Now,
it's
are you
even
gonna
clearer-
argue with me on this still?
No, not at all. No, well, because it's like,
They look like they wasn't even in the air at all.
No.
The way they was moving.
like, I could give you maybe one of the jumps looked okay, not good, okay.
Yeah,
But like this man is like literally flying forward.
flying forward, and they just standing without no securing
No,
nothing.
just-
They're not holding on to anything.
Just
They don't
standing
have
straight up.
gravity boots
No,
or something.
Nothing.
They just standing there and walking, and he just stand. They had to like kick him off or something. The
Yeah.
wind didn't blow him off. Like, where's the wind?
Man.
I would have felt better if they came up with some gravity boots. They was like,
Something.
I got these new experimental gravity boots that'll stick to any surface or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, even though that's BS, but I'll take it. Y'all didn't have that. You just had dude jumping on the cargo to cargo. I was looking like, oh my goodness.
Standing right up on him.
Or the part when they jumped out the car.
Oh,
The part when they was on the car and they talking. Hey, what you doing here? Oh, follow my lead. So they did on Mythbusters. They jumped out of the airplane and they tried to talk to each other to see if they could hear.
nope.
It's like I can't hear. They said all I saw was. It's like it wasn't nothing to.
Yep.
What a joke. So anyway, you kind of just go with it,
They did a thing.
dude.
They did a thing.
Okay, so this movie wasn't horrible, but it was nothing original. It was just a serviceable movie that just filled an hour and a half.
This is another one of those movies where, like, if you hadn't told me this was supposed to be that thing,
Yeah.
like, if this was just clearly like they were trying to rip off Uncharted, like, but they weren't going to call it Uncharted,
I would have took that
I would have taken that.
and put it on streaming.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would have been like, that's a cool,
Like,
little
one of the
enjoyable
many
movie.
like cheap movies that ends up on Netflix or on VOD.
Yeah.
That's clearly like ripped from
Uncharted
this.
ripoff.
Like, they got all the different League of Extraordinary Gentlemen ripoffs on
Yeah.
VOD, like something like that. It's like, okay, I see
Right.
what you were doing, and it's not that bad of a take on what you're ripping off of, so I'll let you go.
Right.
But when you tell me this is the thing,
Yeah, that's the problem.
that's Nathan Drake. That's Victor Sullivan.
Yeah. Nope.
Nah.
Nope.
Nah. And then you put Nathan Drake's voice actor in a cameo.
Gave him a cameo, yeah.
And it's such a weak cameo too.
It was obvious he was somebody. Like, hey,
Yeah.
what you doing?
It's like if they had done him like they did Lee Child in Reacher, where it's just he's a dude that like the camera gives you a good look at as he walks past the main character, and that's it.
Did he say anything?
I think he said, "Oh, excuse me," and then walked out the diner. But then you get to Nathan Drake is like, "What was all this? I fell out of a plane. Something like that happened to me once." Camera stays on him way too long. Hey kid, good luck.
But no, yeah, it was just a movie, dude. And and I'm gonna tell you what, man, your boy Mark Wahlberg, it just get to a point where an actor get to the point where they in the movie they don't try at all.
Once the money gets
Like he didn't
too
try
easy,
at all.
Like I feel like there's a point where the money gets too easy, and I think he finally got to that point. Because like there was a while, like maybe 15 years ago, where he was still trying.
Yeah,
And then
Boogie Nights and shit.
yeah, and then finally, he even has a movie coming out that's going to be much
Yeah, I
better
saw
than
a
this,
trailer for-
Father Stew.
Yeah, I
And it's
saw a
like-
trailer
and I
for
feel
that.
like he's like, look, so all I gotta do is come in and be Mark Wahlberg, and I can
Yeah,
save all my
paycheck.
effort for this character piece
Right.
I'm making. Bet.
Which they don't look that good to me, but at least he's trying.
But like, I can tell he's playing a character in that,
Yeah.
right? I don't know why they picked him to play that character, but whatever. Okay. But then you watch this, it's like, he collected a check and he went home.
Yeah. Or do you think he saw a video game movie? Well, I ain't gonna even try. I'm just gonna show up.
It's a bullshit action movie.
Yeah.
That's been his bread and butter for a minute now. It's like, let me do this.
He's to the point where if his name is mentioned, it's gonna sell tickets.
Yeah.
So that's his bargaining chip.
I mean, that's the thing. Once that money get too easy, you start seeing more and more movies like this where dude clearly ain't trying.
Yeah. But yeah, it got to a point, man. So, you know, it's towards the end. It's the same old stuff. We got the villains, we got the heroes. It was so much money or whatever they was fighting over. I was like, at this point, if I was the villain, I'd be like, hey,
pay him off.
Take two of those. You take two of them barrels and leave, and we good.
This is always my problem with these kind of stories. Like,
as they was destroying all this stuff,
Yeah.
I was like, y'all could have just
like-
went y'all separate ways. You take
like-
this, I'll take that.
Like, even when they're talking about the ships, like, okay, the ships alone are both worth billions.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Like, you could have literally given these motherfuckers a couple bags of gold, everything they could carry. You wouldn't have noticed a drop in your payday.
That's why I was like, it make it so bad, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but the motivation, the other than money, was gone.
Yeah.
So it was no reason for this. It was no reason for this to continue.
Yeah.
It was no reason for them to fight over nothing. It was just like, is it greed?
Well, it's like even what you think is the reason for them to for at least one of them to keep going. The bad guy could have easily said, "Oh no, that's not how it happened. I can actually fix this."
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like, any reasonable bad guy would have said, "Look, I'm gonna tell you what. Grab that bag. The thing you've been looking for specifically, you can find at these coordinates in this room." That's just
You know what? And I don't even want to get too into detail, but
Yeah.
it didn't even make sense how the bad guys found them.
no.
They supposed to have been in a whole nother place.
Yeah.
And
Like,
somehow they just happened to look up, oh, that's the dude I need.
where he going? Let's follow him, man.
And he wasn't even hidden for real. They was just like, you mean tell me nobody
No.
nobody just went this little far?
And I'm gonna tell you what, places like that, motherfuckers is always diving into caves.
I mean, it was right there. It wasn't like hidden. It looked like it was just like a boat ride.
It's like
Nobody just wanted to go that way.
nah.
Put a do
Oh,
not
it's
enter
dark in
sign
there.
on it.
We're not going there.
Anyway.
Oh man.
No,
Like,
I mean, it was.
That's the thing that killed me is like when they get there, it's like, oh, this is like a truly inhabited island. This isn't some like island that no one ever stays on. It was a resort,
Philippines, right?
It was a resort.
But yeah. I mean, like I said, man, it was an okay movie to entertain you for a minute, but it was
Right.
nothing special, nothing new. Mark Wahlberg was not trying at all. Tom Holland was okay
He
because
was all right. I think the biggest problem with him is he looks way too young. And I think the direction probably was like he wasn't getting enough direction on this to make this different from, him playing Spider-Man.
I sensed that they tried a little because I remember, excuse me, they was like talking, and then if he was still the Peter Parker like character, he would have just been quiet and took it, and he was kind of like fighting Sully back a little.
Yeah.
Like the part they was in the car and they was talking about the cross. He was talking about like, I don't know. He was just saying like, hey kid, you do this, and he's like, no, I'm gonna do this. All right, kid. It was kind of like he pushed back a little bit.
Yeah, he said it with his chest. He got a little bass.
Right, which I
can
can picture a grown man saying that, but him, I'm just thinking him saying, yes, sir.
Look, I don't want to discriminate against baby faced actors, and small dudes, but he looked like a teenager. He doesn't look like a little dude.
All right, I mean that's his strength and weakness because he can play characters like Peter Parker in high school, and you'll believe it. But when you playing a 30-year-old, grown man, it's hard to buy it.
It's like he's never gonna be able to pull off grizzled or rough around the edges.
And that's what Nathan Drake is.
Yeah. and like it just doesn't work, man.
Right. So the movie on this whole,
How did they not get Scott Eastwood?
they could have used him.
Yeah.
Man, I can name a lot of people they could have used.
They could've used
and I
other
feel
than
like, but see, this is Sony. Sony already owned Tom
Yeah.
Holland, so it's like it was kind of
Like,
an easy choice
Listen,
for them to
kid,
make.
shame about that Spider-Man thing, but we got another franchise for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an easy choice for them to make. They
Yeah.
didn't have to find nobody
They
else to
already
sign
have a
them.
relationship, so
But and it was like it was so many corny jokes where it wasn't like corny, but it was like a telegraph, same old joke, where is the scene where he grabbed the big sword and let me see that for a second. Oh, and he walk away with it.
yeah.
He said he did everything but say, "Hey," like you know what I'm saying? It was like
Come on, man.
that joke was so set up, and I knew where they was gonna go with it, and they just did it.
Yeah.
That makes it so not funny.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of that stuff in there, man. And so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a rating, dude. I'm watching this bland movie. Some of the little treasure hunting scenes were pretty much straight out of the game, of them finding the clues and taking them to the next step. The next step, where after they find this clue, they go to the next step, which are all set in one scene. And he was like, it was like that was the whole second act for real. And you was kind of like, I was kind of like, okay, that was kind of like the game there. I felt a little bit there, but that was it, And
I
I
could have spread that out.
right, and I was looking for this climax, and I was like, is this the climax? I'm like, oh wait, we ain't seen the shit, the stuff I saw on the trailer yet, so it's got to be a whole nother ending coming. And when it got there, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah. that last act falls so flat.
yeah, a lot of cliche stuff, but yeah. So I'm going to give it a rating, man. I mean, I would give it a whack, but it wasn't bad enough for I to say it was just whack. I didn't enjoy it. It's nothing there. It was flat. Flat. I'm gonna give it all right because I enjoyed it enough, and I feel like if you don't know nothing about the games, you might get something out of it. You might get something out of it just watching it, be slightly entertained enough.
Right.
Please do not have high expectations,
Right.
and do not compare it to the game. But on that note, yeah, I give it all right.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, since that is basically how I came into it, like I don't know enough about the games to know like what I should be truly offended about as a fan of the game. But just as someone who watches movies, there wasn't a lot here. Nothing
new, that's for damn
nothing
sure.
new. The treasure hunting scenes, it's good, right? But I've seen it all before. The effects are good, but they're not spectacular. The cinematography is good, but
Yeah, that's pretty good.
it's not like they're really shooting anything. So it's like I don't care how good you take pictures. If you're taking a picture of an apple on a table, it's an apple on a table.
Yeah.
But there's just not a lot of meat on this particular bone. So for me, this one's an eye. It's not a bad enough movie to be a whack. It's just okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's our review for Uncharted movie, live action movie. It is what it is. I got a bad feeling though when I saw the beginning of this. I'm not sure this is gonna be a bad thing. It depends on how they handle it. They're gonna take a lot of their PlayStation characters and just start making movies.
Yeah.
Which I was like, this can't be good because I would love to see a God of War movie. I saw Kratos.
I saw
and
that.
I saw like
And
Ratchet and Clank.
that one specifically, I'm afraid of.
I know.
Like PG-13 God of War.
It's gonna be PG-13, and they're gonna have who gonna play Kratos?
Oh God.
Well, I mean, it's obvious choice would be Jason Momoa, but he might be on some other stuff
'cause
right now.
the dude that voiced him last, like, if he's willing to do like the makeup for it, I wouldn't be mad at him because he's a big dude.
Okay.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh wait, they might. And I was like, can we finally get the Metal Gear movie and all that? But I heard the dude who made the the creator is
Yeah.
kind of like he got like full rights, and he
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
real tricky.
Well,
on
like,
that.
and it's a weird one because he made Metal Gear like as a love letter to like cliched 80s action films.
But then again, I'd also respect him too because he ain't gonna let them mess his stuff up.
Right.
Because anybody
So,
else
like,
would have just sold that, and then they would have just tore it
if
up.
it ever happens, I'm on board. But also because I know what his taste in writing is, it's still gonna be a weird ass movie.
Yeah, that last one was real weird. But anyway, that's our review for Uncharted live action movie. If you like our content, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you get alerts every time when we post new videos or we live stream.
And if you did like this video, hit that thumbs up down below and share it with your friends.
Yes, we are out of here.
Peace, y'all.